too often, conventional treatments don't adequately control mesothelioma pain. And as a result, many patients find themselves wondering about whether they should pursue alternative or complementary therapies. These purported solutions range from massage to energy healing to supplements, and some have real evidence for helping with cancer pain. Unfortunately, others are unproven or potentially harmful. Today, I want to help you sort through the options, understand which alternative therapies have evidence for pain relief, which are safe to try, and which you should avoid. I'm Terri Oppenheimer. I've been writing about mesothelioma and asbestos for the website mesothelioma.net for over a decade. I'm not a physician, and this is not medical advice. But understanding what works and what doesn't helps you make safe, informed decisions about complementary pain management. So first, let's clarify terminology. Complementary therapies are used alongside conventional medical treatment, while alternative therapies are just what their name implies. They're used instead of conventional treatment. For cancer and cancer pain, you want complementary approaches, additions to your medical care, not replacements for it. That's an important point that I want to make sure you understand. You should never replace pain medications or cancer treatment with alternative therapies. Instead, use them as supplements to enhance overall pain control and well-being. Now, let's start by going through alternative therapies that have real evidence supporting their ability to help ease cancer pain. Studies have shown that massage therapy can reduce pain, anxiety, and stress in cancer patients. The mechanisms appear to be muscle relaxation, improved circulation, reduced stress hormones, and possible effects on pain processing neurotransmitters. Gentle massage is generally safe for cancer patients, with some precautions. Tell the massage therapist about your cancer diagnosis and treatment so they can modify their approach appropriately. Oncology massage therapists have specialized training in working with cancer patients. They'll avoid deep pressure directly on tumor sites or recently operated areas. They'll be gentle with skin that's been made fragile by radiation treatments. They'll avoid areas where blood clots could be, and they'll use less pressure if your platelet counts are low. Now, before I go on, I'm going to take a break here to ask you a quick favor. If you find these videos helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. It makes it easier for other people who need this information to find us. Also, if you have questions or there's a topic you'd like to see addressed in a future video, send me a note in the comments section. And make sure you watch until the end, because I'm going to give you valuable information on where to find resources that will make a real difference for you. Now, music therapy. There's evidence supporting its use in reducing pain and anxiety. Listening to calming music activates reward pathways in the brain and can reduce pain perception. Active music therapy with a trained therapist might be even more effective than passive listening. Aromatherapy using essential oils, it has limited evidence for pain relief specifically, but there is some evidence for its ability to reduce anxiety and improve relaxation. And this can indirectly help pain. Lavender in particular appears to have those kinds of effects. So aromatherapy is generally safe when used appropriately with the oils diffused in the air or applied in a diluted form to the skin. But don't ingest the oils and don't apply them directly to the skin without first diluting them. You also need to be aware that some people are sensitive or allergic to these oils, so it's a good idea to do a patch test on a small area before fully applicating them. Yoga and gentle stretching have evidence for reducing pain, particularly musculoskeletal pain and stiffness from inactivity. Gentle, restorative yoga adapted to your abilities is safe for most cancer patients, but you should avoid vigorous or hot yoga. and tell any yoga instructor about your diagnosis and limitations. Tai Chi and Qigong, those are gentle movement practices from Chinese medicine that have some evidence for reducing pain and improving functions in various chronic pain conditions. The research into their use for cancer patients is limited, but they are generally safe and might help. While not directly reducing pain, reducing stress and providing comfort can help overall pain experience. To that end, art therapy and creative expression can help with pain-related distress, if not physical pain intensity itself. Engaging in creative activities provides distraction, emotional expression, and a sense of control. Pet therapy or animal-assisted therapy also has evidence for reducing anxiety and improving mood in cancer patients. Now, let's discuss therapies with limited or no evidence. Energy healing practices like Reiki, therapeutic touch, and healing touch involve practitioners moving their hands over or lightly touching the body. I've got my own pet therapist here. Research on these is mixed. Some studies show benefits for pain and anxiety. Others show no effect beyond placebo. These practices are generally harmless if they're used as complementary therapy, but they shouldn't replace proven treatments, and they're not worth spending large amounts of money on. Chiropractic manipulation has no role in treating mesothelioma and could be dangerous. Forceful manipulation near tumor sites or weakened bones from metastasis, it could cause injury. Herbal supplements for pain are covered in detail in another one of my videos, but briefly, most have not been well studied for cancer pain. Many interact poorly with chemotherapy or other medications, and some that are available for purchase are actually contaminated or mislabeled. Definitely discuss their use with your oncologist before trying any of these supplements. Crystal healing, magnet therapy, and similar approaches have no scientific evidence at all for reducing pain. They're harmless except to your wallet. So my advice is not to waste your money on them, but it's your choice. What about CBD or cannabis for pain? This is a complex topic. CBD, the laws vary, and the research quality is limited. CBD specifically has limited evidence for pain relief. It can interact with medications, so if you're considering either cannabis or CBD for pain, discuss it with your oncologist first. In states where medical marijuana is legal, consider consulting with a doctor who specializes in medical cannabis to get evidence-based guidance rather than relying on the dispensary staff. Red flags for questionable alternative therapies include promises of cures or dramatic pain elimination, very expensive treatments, practitioners who discourage conventional medical treatment, claims of secret formulas or suppressed knowledge, requirement to purchase products or treatments upfront or on a subscription, and lack of credentials or training that can be verified. One of the best known cases of a mesothelioma patient turning to alternative medicine involves Hollywood icon Steve McQueen. He was diagnosed with mesothelioma in December 1979. He was a car racing enthusiast, and his asbestos exposure most likely came from his racing suits. He pursued conventional treatment, but eventually he connected with Dr. William Kelly, who was a dentist, who had a very controversial theory that cancer was the result of insufficient pancreatic enzymes. Even though that claim got Kelly blacklisted by the American Cancer Society and got his Texas medical license revoked, McQueen was desperate, and he traveled to a clinic in Mexico where Kelly dosed him with pancreatic enzymes, dozens of daily supplements, coffee enemas, psychotherapy, prayer sessions, and injections derived from sheep and cattle fetuses, along with Laetrile, which is an alternative therapy made from apricot pits. It's important to acknowledge that mesothelioma treatment has advanced tremendously since 1980, and patients today do have many more legitimate options available than McQueen did, but the story is still a cautionary tale that goes beyond the passage of time. When facing a painful terminal diagnosis, desperation is strong, and the promise and hope offered by an alternative treatment, it can be very powerful. It's that exact vulnerability that questionable practitioners will exploit. Steve McQueen abandoned conventional care in favor of a regimen built on unproven claims. No amount of vitamins, enzymes, or injections could change his outcome, and abandoning traditional medicine may have led to greater suffering. He died in November 1980, days after undergoing surgery to remove cancerous masses that had formed in his abdomen and neck. The lesson is that walking away from evidence-based medicine toward alternative treatments with unrealistic promises has never saved a mesothelioma patient. While alternatives are a mistake, you can safely incorporate complementary therapies as long as you use them alongside rather than instead of conventional pain management. Tell your oncology team what complementary therapies you're using, and don't assume that the word natural means safe. Discuss everything. Choose practitioners who understand cancer and who are willing to coordinate with your medical team. Look for therapies that are offered through your cancer center's integrative medicine program when possible, and be skeptical of expensive or dramatic claims. You can give approaches a fair trial, several sessions, but don't continue indefinitely if they're not helping. What if your cancer center doesn't offer integrative medicine? You can find community practitioners with oncology training, oncology certified massage therapists, music therapists who work with medical populations, yoga instructors trained in gentle restorative yoga for people with health challenges. Ask your oncologist or palliative care team for referrals to reputable practitioners. Can you combine multiple complementary therapies? Sure, most are compatible. You might use massage weekly, practice meditation daily, listen to music for relaxation, and try acupuncture for pain. The combination of multiple gentle approaches might provide more benefit than any single one alone. So, what's the bottom line on alternative therapies for mesothelioma pain? Some complementary approaches, massage, music therapy, meditation, acupuncture, they have real evidence for modest pain or anxiety reduction, and they're safe when used appropriately. They're worth trying as additions to medical pain management. Other approaches have limited evidence but are generally safe and might help some people. These include aromatherapy, yoga, tai chi, and art therapy. They're fine to try, and if they appeal to you and they're not expensive, go ahead. But there's no good evidence and no sense wasting your energy on things like magnet therapy or crystal healing. Never, ever replace pain medications with alternative therapies. Even the best evidenced complementary approaches provide modest benefits, 20 to 30% pain reduction, not complete pain relief. Alternative therapies for mesothelioma pain with evidence include massage therapy, music therapy, meditation, acupuncture, gentle yoga, and tai chi. They provide modest pain reduction, typically 20 to 30%, when used as complements to medical pain management. Approaches with limited evidence, but which are generally safe, include aromatherapy, art therapy, and pet therapy. Avoid energy healing, magnet therapy, and expensive, unproven treatments. Always tell your oncology team what you're using and look for oncology-trained practitioners, but never, ever replace pain medications with alternative therapies. Visit mesothelioma.net for more information about integrative and complementary approaches that can help with your pain, or call 1-800-692-8608 or use the live chat feature on the website to speak with one of our patient advocates right away. As for me, remember to post your questions below and I'll see you next time.